Now we got it.
Hello, everybody. You hear the applause in the background. We're at the National, but I'm here with my good friend Don Driggers. Hey, Don.
All right,
Great to see you, buddy.
Yep.
And Don and I are working on a project for Retriever News about judging. It's about bird placement, and what we have in the background here is a diagram of the field that we've been shown. Don and I are judging an amateur. They've given us a parameter of, I think, 60 dogs. This is the field they showed us. First thing we did is identified some of the factors. Side hill, the steep slope, some of the clumps of sagebrush, and just the general nature of the field. They've also identified, you don't see it on here, but the wind is relatively downwind. So Don and I started to talk about some of these things, and I'm going to put up another diagram. And actually, this is a diagram of the test that I started to construct, and we talked about a triple. My option was to throw a long retired gun to the right, kind of down the hill, and then have another bird thrown up the hill with the thought possibly that the dogs might climb left and get between the two, and making that long gun number one difficult. Don had some other thoughts. I'm going to show you Don's test and the test that we kind of agreed upon. Don, do you want to elaborate on some of your thoughts on this test for us?
Yeah, the main thing that I liked is I wanted to make sure that the flyer was shot left to right and out of the test, number one, and then that there was a substantial area between the backside of the flyer and the middle bird, so that if you did not know where that middle bird was, or you were fuzzy, you were going to wind up hunting in between there. And I've always felt when you set marks that you have to have an influence on the flyer away from the test. And that open area in here, with the Pat's pointing out, is where I think 50% of the dogs will wind up on that long bird. It makes it easier because you don't usually get terrain like this when you're judging, especially in the east where I come from. It's flat. This is very nice terrain. You have that middle bird. You'll make sure from a judging standpoint that you throw that middle bird first. Some people like to throw the left one first. From my perspective, you want to make sure they get a good look at that bird.
Make a quick comment on your left bird.
Yeah.
You talked about wanting to throw it right in front of this tree.
Yeah, I talked about throwing it right in front of the tree so that the dogs would have to go right to the tree to tell you, I know where that bird is. It's right in front of that tree. Pat and I talked about it, and I thought that the way that Pat feels you should throw it, I agree with Pat. I think it's a fairer way to throw. And if you miss this bird, especially downwind, if you miss it to the right, you're not getting that bird.
Yeah.
You know, and if you climb the hill hard, you're going to miss it on the left side too. So it's a dog has to deal with that terrain going up in there, and I think if you said on an amateur perspective, I think only 40% of the field would probably do this test. That's what I think.
You know, Don's one of my all-time favorite judges. I've always loved running under him. We've always had these kind of discussions. So here's another one. And if you'd like to hear more about this ongoing series, it's called, what is it called? We've got Tina over here. Tina, what's it called?
Designing and constructing field trial marks.
Designing and constructing field trial marks. The Retriever News will have that. Get a subscription. It's great stuff, and helps us all be better judges and better dog people. Thank you.